Hello everyone, it's Kay here, and I'm here today to share a little something that I actually saw yesterday on YouTube. A lady that I follow, I can't say regularly, but I do follow quite often, called Live, Love and Scrap, and she made what I'm sharing with you in front here. I'll just widen out a tad, excuse the light again, it's that time of day. And I just absolutely fell in love with it and just thought to myself, what a fabulous little gift to put in a rack or just send out as a thinking of you kind of project, whatever you wanted to use it for, readily usable all year round, which is what I like. And when you look at it, it's so basic as to be something that just about anybody could do. You don't necessarily need a scoreboard, but you do need something to score with. All you need is one sheet of 12 by 12 good quality paper or cardstock, preferably something that doesn't crease, because there is a bit of scoring involved and you wouldn't want the creases to bend and distort or crack open and spoil the overall look of the project. And then a little something to decorate the front to your own taste, and you have a lovely gift to pass on to somebody within your crafty friends, or even, you know, put into a rack. And you might be thinking, well, it's a box, what's it all about? So I'm going to show you what it's all about very, very carefully. If I can push through the sleeve here, I'm pulling one of the flaps. Oh, I've lost a button. Pulling on the flaps here to pull it out, because it really is a very, very snug fit. But this in effect is a band that just formulates the cover to the inside workings, and the inside workings are box shaped like so, and they slot into the bag. And even now I'm hoping you're wondering, is she ever going to get on with it? Well, I am, because as you open it up, you have 4 pockets, and in each of the pockets there are 2 little cello bags, and in each of the bags there are various die cuts. So it's ideal for a crafty buddy, or in a swap perhaps, where what you put out is appreciated and people ask you, oh, where did you get that die from? You can actually give them little bits and pieces of what you've used perhaps in your project. So I just thought this was absolutely gorgeous, and with it being such minimal ingredients to put it together, and the fact that then by inserting it into the cover band, or belly band you might even call it, but it does hold on to the whole of the gift, and it is snug, so it feels really, really secure, apart from this side, but you could put ribbon around it or something if you wanted to. I just thought, what a fabulous gift. So I went on to make some, and I thought I'd better do a tutorial. For those of you who don't follow Live, Love and Scrap, I will also leave the link to her channel below, so that you can actually go along and see the original tutorial if that's what you'd like to do. So I've got my cardstock ready, and I have done a lot of preparatory work purely and simply from a time point of view. And what you need literally is one piece of 12 by 12 cardstock or paper. I've actually used a pad that I think I probably got in the works, maybe somewhere like that. It's a double-sided, it's one of their £3 pads, so it's not an expensive paper, but it does lend itself to this project very nicely, providing you remember to score both sides of your card. So from that 12 by 12 piece of card, if I open this up, you cut out a piece of card that is 12 inches by 3.5 inches. Now that is the actual band of the gift, we'll call it. What did Live, Love and Scrap call it? An embellishments booklet. Okay, so it's not a new concept, it's just a new way of delivering those embellishments. I think if you follow me, you've probably seen the flat version that's like a traveller's notebook or something, which does exactly the same thing on two sides, but this is a variation of that theme. You then, from cutting out your 12 by 3.5, rotate your card, because you'll find what's left is 8.5 inches, which is precisely what you need, and you cut that then to 4.5 inches on your cutter, so that it then is 4.5 inches by 8.5, and you need 2 of those, which still leaves you something of that size left over, so you can use that for your front decoration, to make a little greeting card with tags, whatever you felt like really. The world's your oyster. So it's less than a 12 by 12 piece of card, which is incredible in itself. So then you take your cover to your scoreboard very simply, and you are going to score at, make sure I give you the right numbers, 1 inch, 5.5 inches, 6 inches, no sorry, 5.5 inches, 6.5 inches, so you've got that inch in the centre. If I bring that down a bit, you might be able to see the scoring there, the measurements. Let's start again, I don't want to confuse you. 1 inch, 5.5 inches, 6.5 inches and 11 inches. And as I say, if you then turn that cardstock over and go over your scores again, that gives enough flexibility in your card to fold without creasing, cracking, I don't mean creasing, I mean cracking, or splitting, providing you're not too heavy-handed. You then fold and burnish all of those score lines like so, right down to the bottom end, and then if you put your flap one over the other and decide which is going to be your closure, either outward or underneath, and the side that is going to be the anchor to the cover, you put some really good adhesive on. I've used the red line tape here because it is exceptional and it doesn't tend to let you down. So then you peel off those bits of tape. Be careful to go to the ends, avoid the crease, because that then is what makes that nice finished curve going around to the other side of the box. Bring the other side around, line it up really, really carefully as best as you can, and remember red line tape sticks like a demon, so don't actually put it together and press it until you're happy with where you've got it. Now that seam becomes the back of the cover, and your smooth edge that goes around is the front aspect. You then get your 2 little pieces, which are the, let me just check it again, 3.5, no, sorry, your 2 book parts, we'll call them book parts, which is what Live, Love and Scrap called them. So these are your 8.5 by 4, and you score at 1 inch. No you don't, sorry, oh my gosh, no, 4.5 by 8.5. And I'm reading my own writing all back to front, see. So you've got this 3.5 by 8.5, and on the long side you're going to score at 3.5 inches and 4 inches and 7.5 inches. and that is how that looks. So that's your 3.5 is here, your 3.5 to 4 is what amounts to the spine of your book, and then you have your bit that goes up to the 7.5 inches and a flap here, and that represents 1/2 of your book fold. So at this point you need to be really careful with your design paper if it's something that has a line to it to follow, because you need to then, if you scored on this side and you did exactly the same thing on the other side, clearly unless you turn it upside down it's not actually going to marry up on the other piece. So what you need to do is fold it so that you're scoring this inside, so that all of your scorings end up with a 1 inch overlap in the centre. As long as you can attain that 1 inch overlap in the centre, score it the way that it suits you, but it is the same scores. You want 3.5 by 4 and then 4 inches and 7.5, which leaves you the same cover as you had on the first piece. Now I've already put my red line tape on it. It's a floral print, so if I show you when it's married up, it is a busy floral print, so I'm not going to worry too much about direction of the paper for this particular one. But if you had stripes or something that needed to be up a certain way, you do need to be extra careful when you come to put your book covers together. Now I'm going to peel off the red line backing as I did with the front cover. I will then make sure that my folds are lined up as best I can before I anchor it down with any amount of confidence. And then once you've got them where you want them to be, again press that red tape down and anchor your two bits together. You then end up with that scenario, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces for your bits and pieces that you want to put into your folder. It could be lace, it could be cutouts, it could be whatever you want. When you then fold the 2 outside edges into the centre and close those 2 together, that then will slide, albeit snugly, into, oops, you might need to do it, I've not stuck this together very well because I've actually rushed it, but it does sit in there really nicely. Tease it into your box, and there you have your gift all ready to decorate. Now I'll show you another one that I've done, because I've got several here, as you'd expect. I did get carried away with things, especially when it's something that I know I can send out to people. I am doing a few swaps of late, and I just feel this is the right kind of thing to share with someone. Always make sure that your spine is on the left hand side as you're looking at it. But if I take this one out so you can see, all of these are just ready for decoration. And what I've done with this, sorry, wrong way round, is I've just got these tiny little self-sealing cello bags that I bought from a local store, and they measure 3.5 by 2.5, and that includes that lip at the top there, which is your closure. And when it comes to the second one, I've got 2 on each of the windows here, we'll call them, or spaces. What I did with the second one was just trim off the top and that actually allows you to put both bags onto the backing there. And I've just used again the red line tape, which then gives you full access to the little goodie bag, and you can put in what you like. You have to be mindful of the 1/2 inch space that you've got as a spine on your book, so you can't be overly generous, but you know, it still is, I think, a lovely gift to send out and present to someone. It's up to you whether you decorate it fully or not. You might want to just put a little bit of thin DSP around this. It is, I think, better to use your double-sided cardstock if you have any available. Otherwise you might find that the inside is plain and you go to town on your cover, which just, you know, lends it that's a good bit of space to decorate and make look beautiful for the recipient. So that is the project. I hope I've made things clear. As I say, I will leave a link underneath the video for Liveloveandscrap, who is a lovely lady, and I hope you will go along and check her out. She makes lots and lots of similar styled projects on her channel and is always very, very good to follow for tutorials and the like. So happy crafting, everyone. I hope I've inspired you to give this a go and to check her out. Stay well, everyone. Bye bye for now.